This is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
We're back with one of your favorite episodes. It is the listener mailbag episode. Thank you to everyone who has emailed us, shared your comments with us. We've got a long list, so we're going to dive right in with an email from Patty regarding a Bills love story. She says, I just listened to your review about the Buffalo Bills movie. I live in Buffalo and have some information for you, answering some of the questions that we had. The stadium scenes were filmed May 22nd and 23rd. The weather was cooler than usual with a high of 53 degrees, and it was windy with a light rain. Perfect weather for depicting a December game.
Yeah, we did talk about, we thought there was rain happening, right?
Yeah, when they're playing on the field.
Yeah.
Holland's hair gets real wet and wavy. And I was like, it's June. It was May, but still. We also talked about the ice bike. She says an ice bike has one back tire and blades on the front, and you steer like a regular bike. She includes a link to Water Bikes of Buffalo, where you can see the ice bikes in action and see where you can rent them at the canal side.
I wish we had those here.
I do too.
There's a big ice rink by your house. Have you ever popped in there to see if they have ice bikes?
My daughter used to take ice skating lessons there, figure skating lessons. So I've been there a number of times. My son was actually just there last week. He was out with friends and he texted me. He's like, we're going ice skating. I was like, you're what? And later on, I was like, how was it? He goes, it was terrible. I hated it. Maybe if they had an ice bike, you would have liked it more.
Yeah.
Patty says the team the Bills were playing was the New England Patriots. We get a little more information about that in our next email. And Patty says they didn't mention sponge candy, which is a specialty in Buffalo. She sends us a website for Park Edge Sweet Shop, and oh my goodness.
What is sponge candy?
Well, it looks kind of like a honeycomb a little bit. But I encourage people to check out Park Edge Sweet Shop because they've got some fun looking stuff on here. Patty, thank you for your email.
Yeah, I want to try that. Yummy. Do they ship?
Oh, yeah.
It's chocolate. They ship to California?
How do you think chocolate gets into the stores?
I don't know, Mom.
You can order C's candy online.
Okay. Well, I might have to do that. You know what I've been having a hankering for are butter cookies. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what a butter cookie is.
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
I'm
tempted to order a half pound of dark chocolate peanut butter sponge.
Do it. Get crazy. Our next email is from Paula, also regarding the Bills movie. Being a Patriots fan, I didn't want to comment about the Bills, but I need to respond to your comment about the game being shown at the end not being a real game. I just want to say I apologize. I was probably watching it on my phone and could not see if
I don't think Paula's coming for you.
I know Paula's moves with good intentions. It was last December's Patriots game. The 12-3 Bills eked out a narrow come from behind victory over the 3-12 Patriots.
Paula throwing shade.
The announcer mentioned Drake May, the Patriots quarterback. As of now, the Patriots are 10-2 and the Bills are 7-4. Not that it matters. I also find it odd that all the Bills fans' favorite win was a wild card blowout over the mediocre Patriots team. I'll just leave it there. The Bills are going to be the Bills. Look, I, again, feel like I'm part of Bills Mafia, so maybe...
Are you taking offense to Paula's email?
Maybe Paula needs to dial it back. No,
are you getting Bills merch for Christmas?
Paula, I love you. Thank you for your email, as always.
I'm going to buy you a Bills jersey, a beanie, because you love hats so much.
God, stop it. Well, I told my husband, I was like, you should watch this movie. It's a really great movie. And now my husband and his brother do like a one trip a year to a stadium they never been. Yes. He's like, oh, I think I need to put the Bills on my list. And I said, I think I need to go with you
to their brand new stadium.
I don't really care about that. I want to go downtown to
Verner's. What's that place called?
No, I don't.
Vidler's.
I want a peanut stick. And
I want to go to this sponge
candy.
Yes. can we both go? And
Maybe we go on the trip.
yeah, when we were in Kansas City, my husband said 18 times, go see the Chiefs, go see the Chiefs. I was like, man, do you not know me at all?
Yeah, I don't really care about the football game. Now, would I go to that bar where Andrew Walker works to watch
The Bar Bill Tavern?
Yes.
Yeah, I would.
Yes, I would.
Mackie, she's one of our Facebook group moderators. She sent a couple emails. The first is in regards to the more the merrier. She says, I thought I'd share the following excerpt from a People article that details how Rachel and Brendan ended up getting cast in The More the Merrier. I love this story. To quote the article, we met 1 year ago on this cruise and we made each other laugh a lot.
Oh, interesting. They hadn't met before then?
No. Boston tells People from a lounge on the 2025 Hallmark Christmas cruise. We did not know each other before then at all, and we had a really good time on the cruise, Penny agrees. It was the dress-up night that we kind of were like, hey, let's go talk to Tatiana Erasme, who's the head of casting. And so we threw the idea that we haven't worked together yet, we'd really love to, and that if it was a possibility to strongly consider it. And it landed. How much do you love the idea that, for some reason, the idea of them being like, hey, we'd like to work together. Can you make that happen? I kind of love that.
I love it too. I wonder how often that happens, one, and two, why doesn't it happen more? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you would feel like you have access to the casting director. You're on a boat. You'd be like, hey, can we get in front of you? We'd really like to work together.
Look, if you haven't listened to our review of The More the Merrier yet, I thought they had instant on-screen chemistry.
Yeah.
So that was a great move.
Also from Mackie, she writes in about Melt My Heart at Christmas, which BTW I think is a surprise hit. Megan doesn't want to accept it, but I saw somebody say like that's their number one movie of the year. It's not my number one movie of the year, but it's somebody's number one movie of the year. People really liked it.
You're right. I'm not People.
I know you're not.
I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate. I didn't. It's not my favorite of the year, but I went in, I think it's because I went in with super low expectations. That is truly why. Okay, let me get back to Mackie's email. She writes, in response to your question in your review about where the movie was filmed, Jennifer Wigmore shared in an interview on the Heart in Motion podcast that it was filmed in Ottawa in February 2025. So it really was freezing on set.
Yeah. And that came through.
Yes.
We have a new listener to the podcast. Her name's Shannon. She's from Sydney, Australia, and she says, greetings from Sydney. My name is Shan, and I'm a longtime lover of Hallmark movies, but must have been living under a rock because I didn't know there were podcasts about Hallmark. And to that I say, if you are listening to this podcast, your challenge, should you choose to accept it, is to share us with a friend. Make sure people know that we exist. So far, this countdown to Christmas, my favorites have been Merry Christmas, Ted Cooper. I laughed so hard and love that they were all betting on poor Ted's misfortunes. It was a classic and one I'm sure I'll be watching again. I also really loved Christmas Above the Clouds. The Christmas Carol theme was a hit. It made me laugh. It made me cry. Now that's a good combination. My all-time favorite Christmas movie is A Biltmore Christmas. I've lost count how many times I've seen it. It's magical and Christopher Polaha is just swoon-worthy.
Can I tell you, I read this email myself originally, like when it came through, and I was like, a listener from Australia.
Leave a review, Shan.
You know how excited I am that somebody down under across the world listens to us? We're sitting at our freaking kitchen table talking about Hallmark movies, and somebody's like, I just found you and I love you.
Down under.
I have a quick story to tell.
Yeah.
My husband was recently in Singapore for work. Mm-hmm. And they had to do like a icebreaker. And he's like, so if you have any new listeners from Singapore, and I was like, wait a minute. An icebreaker is about yourself, not about your wife who has a Hallmark podcast. And he goes, but what happened is he told these people in this room that we have a Hallmark podcast. And he's like, so if you see an uptick from Singapore.
Singaporean downloads?
Yeah, but I looked. Hallmark doesn't air. It doesn't. Hallmark channel does not exist in Singapore. It may show on another network. I don't know.
In the last 30 days, from Singapore. 0.08% of our downloads came from there.
Well, that's better than 0.
That's right.
So thank you very much. Listener Jill writes in regarding a Newport Christmas. For the Newport Christmas movie, I thought the relationship between the museum executive and the employee was unrealistic. I know we were supposed to suspend disbelief, but that being said, that would be a huge HR issue if a boss dated an employee. She goes on to ask, what was the executive doing making flower arrangements? Shouldn't she be fundraising or working with the board of directors? Where were the volunteers on this committee or hired help, such as a floral designer and event staff? Sometimes Hallmark doesn't get it right with some of the basic things, and it distracts me from my viewing experience. Can you relate to this?
Well, I have a long history of working in nonprofit special event fundraising. And while I do think that there should be some volunteers here, it's an all hands on deck situation. There probably wasn't floral designer and event staff. They're working with a small skeleton crew. I have worked on big and small special events, and I have been, as a 21-year-old fresh out of college, the point person on large events, driving our rented Ryder truck through the streets of downtown LA and having to find a place to park it in my no parking available Los Angeles neighborhood. So all that to say, sometimes we're working with a really small crew, but I was the volunteer coordinator at the National MS Society, and my superpower was activating the volunteers. So yeah, they really needed to find a volunteer network here.
Got it.
Would you like to talk more about nonprofit special events? Email us at girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com. Our next email is from listener Chantal regarding the television show Family Law, which has come up in our news and notes a number of times.
Yeah.
She says, ladies, you should definitely watch this if you can find it. It's so good, and there are so many Hallmark stars that come through, along with some very familiar faces. As a Canadian girlie who works in family law, it's very interesting for me to watch as the court process and terminology is accurate. I mean, aside from the usual courtroom antics you see in legal shows like surprise witnesses, etc. Anyway, I started it for the Hallmark stars and stayed for the story. It's so good. 10 out of 10 recommend. I'm going to check right now where, if anywhere, it is streaming in the U.S. Family Law.
It's on the CW, I think.
It is on the CW, also on Prime Video.
Cool. You want to review this in January? Guys, we haven't even talked about January yet.
Do you want to review this in January?
I don't know. Last January, we were reviewing The Way Home.
Yeah, we do need a series.
We need something in January.
All right, folks. girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com. Start your campaigns for what we should review. It's December 1st. We got to figure it out.
Yeah, and we don't know what Hallmark's putting out in January in terms of movies.
And we will not be doing
When Calls the Heart.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I could not think of the name of that show to save my life.
So we got to do something.
Gotta do something.
Can't just take a break because that's not how podcasting works. Listener Lisa writes in, the subject says follow-up, Keller, brackets.
That's my subject.
Oh.
Those are my notes. This is not.
That's the too long didn't read summary. So when we're going through it. Okay.
That's what's happening.
Lisa wrote, I met Jordan Belfi in Waikiki about 4 years ago. Yes. Last time we talked, she met him on an elevator and we were like, was this recent?
Yeah. Jordan Belfi of the movie Snow Bride.
Which if you haven't seen it, you should go and watch because it was surprisingly good. Mm-hmm. Lisa continues, I was really surprised that you guys didn't mention in your Did You See That? On a Keller Christmas Vacation that the dads, very early on the ship's hands were very shaky and he spilled hot tea while pouring from a kettle. Being a nurse, I immediately knew it was Parkinson's, but I didn't figure out that was the problem with William until the kids were about to find out.
I saw the Parkinson's storyline coming a mile away, but you're right.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. But I did not put it in my Did you see that? So you're right. And lastly, are you doing the brackets this year? I heard you talk about them when I listened to some old podcasts from last year, and it sounds really fun, but I think I heard you saying there were some issues last year. Let's run it down.
Let's unpack that. Go ahead.
Wendy is the point person on the brackets. just because it was her idea, not because I'm unwilling to help, is kind of a hard job to share.
Yes.
Behind the scenes, folks, this is episode 6 of the day, and even the dogs have gone a little punch drunk. So it's a ton of work. These things that you just see pop up on your Instagram stories and that are just a blip, it's a lot of work. You got to create all the images every single day. You got to post. This sounds silly. It's time consuming.
Yeah.
And it's time consuming in a busy time of year, and it's time consuming over a short period of time.
After a very long season here.
That's phase 1.
Yeah.
The pro of that, if I may, is the community by and large really enjoys it. Typically, we get some fun buy-in from cast and crew. It's always kind of fun to see who gets in on it. And the fans start really like rooting for their own team. It gets people engaged. It's a fun way because everyone kind of gets a little bit of the post-holiday movie letdown. This kind of keeps that going for a little while. Back to the cons. A few bad apples spoil the whole bunch. And by that, I mean a couple things happen. 1, everyone has an opinion about the way it should be run. 2, some people get real mad about the way the votes go. It's just the way the cookie crumbles, folks.
I think we were threatened to be sued last year.
No.
Oh, that was for the way home.
We were threatened to be sued over a single Instagram story asking people to vote over whether they were Team Elliot or Team Thomas.
That's right.
And then someone bought bots to game the system. Whatever. Nobody threatened to sue us over the brackets. However, people get really upset. The seeding is random.
Yeah.
Also, it's a fake competition. There's no prize. There's nothing at stake. It's just fun. So some people get really upset. And at the very end of last year's competition, while nobody purchased bots last year, I am afraid that might happen this year because there were a number of fake accounts, maybe fake's the wrong word, extra accounts that were created to spin the votes in one direction. And it came down to honestly,
One vote. Yeah.
And it kind of was frustrating that it came down to one vote when there were many fake accounts made. Kind of sucks the fun out of it.
Yeah, it does.
So I don't know. It's December 1st as we're recording this. No final decision has been made, but that is the nuts and bolts of the bracket.
I will tell you the origin story of the bracket, because it's been done 3 years now, right? I think we had just launched our Instagram, and I was like trying to come up with ways to get more engagement on our Instagram, and I think that's where it came from. Of course, it's like fun. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it, but at the end of last year, I was like, I don't know if I can do it again, simply because there was so much criticism about how it was being done, and I was like, oh, this is supposed to be fun. Like you said, there's nothing to gain out of it.
Right.
With that said, the other night I was laying in bed and I was like, if I don't do it, I bet somebody else does, and I don't want them to take it away from us.
Yeah, I hear you. We also, last year, we were contending with, we had Hallmark Plus movies that we made a decision not to include. We also had a ton of movies. We had a play-in round. This year, with fewer movies, if we just did the 24 brand new movies, it would be a little bit of an easier situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I would need to like map it out and look at it and see what it's going to take.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards doing it. If you don't, I would take it on. The FOMO in me.
I'm not worried about the FOMO. I don't want somebody to steal it.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
And
That's
I
what
think somebody would.
I think you're right.
Not that like you can't have your bracket. Anybody can have a bracket, right? But I think maybe we might be synonymous with it for
Correct.
Hallmark.
Correct.
So
moving on.
Time will tell.
Okay, before we keep going, we should probably talk about that little 7-day magic mind experiment we did last week.
Oh yeah, that thing that I thought would absolutely do nothing, and somehow it did something.
I tried it because my afternoons have been rough. Like I'll sit down to work and immediately think, nope, not today.
And I tried because my brain fog has been real. I can start the day feeling like I'm on top of things. And then by noon, I'm like staring at the screen going like, what was I doing? So around day 3 of the Magic Mind, I remember thinking like, oh, I'm just doing my thing. I'm not pausing, going, what are you doing, Wendy? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me was that I wasn't scrambling to find my focus. It's like my attention span stopped fighting with me. And because it's not coffee level intensity, I wasn't jittery. I could just sit and do the thing.
I know you're the kind of girl that's like, I can't drink a coffee in the afternoon. Here's the thing for me, it didn't like change my personality or fix my life in any way, but it did make the week feel a little bit easier, especially towards the end of the week where I'm like done.
Yeah, just smooth the edges a little bit. Less fog, more focus. And if your brain feels like a little cluttered browser window most days, this might help.
So if you are curious, we do have a link.
It's magicmind.com/girlsgone20. And the code girlsgone20 gets you a discount.
Try it for 7 days and see if it does anything for you. We were surprised in a good way.
Megan emails regarding a Keller Christmas vacation. Megan says, somewhat newer listener here, but I'm making my way through your archives pretty much on a daily basis. So the parasocial relationship is fully realized.
We've made it, Megan. We've made it.
I love the podcast. You're always entertaining. And we often, not always, have similar takes on the movies. Welcome, Megan. I'm late to the new movies as always, but finally watched Keller Christmas Vacation this past weekend and listened to your podcast on it this morning. If you talked about this and I was distracted, then ignore me for sure. I don't remember hearing this anywhere and had to bring it up. When they're in the square listening to the choir, about an hour and 15 into the movie, if played with commercials, Cal is standing behind Emery and talking to her about the photos she's taking. He says something about her taking a shot at love and you just got to get your head in the game. And she replies, thanks, Coach Bolton, a High School Musical reference that I was fully entertained by. That's it. That's the whole comment. Thank you both for the daily entertainment on my morning walks. I don't know what I'll do once I'm all caught up on the archives. I mean, Megan, we're not going anywhere. Also, join the Patreon.
You beat me to it. Yeah.
There's so many back episodes to dig through there. Although, if you want to talk parasocial, they could go off the rails in there. It's much more personal.
Much more personal. But yes, at patreon.com/Megan and Wendy.
It's right there for you.
Come join us.
Some people lock down their archives. I don't.
No.
It would be too much work, honestly.
It's so much work, but I get a little like weird feeling in my stomach when they're like, I go back and listen to the archives. I'm like, oh boy. Oh, don't do that.
Oh, no.
You know, because in our early days of Hallmark reviews, they were not great. They were.
So you're worried that our early Patreon might not be great?
Oh, I don't care if they.
Oh, you're saying people go back to listen to our old Hallmark reviews?
Yeah.
You can really see the evolution over the podcast.
For sure. No, come listen to our Patreon. Like, I think there's great stuff there. Mm-hmm. Crash outs of epic measure, crying, laughing, tons of laughing.
There a lot.
Yeah, I think it's a good place. I think it's a great place. Also, if you didn't know, we have a YouTube channel.
Oh gosh, if you want to go way back, there's 6 years of YouTube videos there.
Yeah. Kind of the same content, same idea.
As Patreon.
Yeah. I had this thought the other night. I was like, how long are we going to be doing this Hallmark podcast? I turned 50 this year, and I was like, and we've been working together a long time.
I'm so worried about what the next part of this sentence
Megan
is.
always gets afraid, like at the...
I'm like, it's December. It's almost January.
I always want to quit. No, because how long have we been working together now? By the way, this is what you would get on Patreon.
12 years.
Yeah. Okay. Am I going to be 62 still doing this? Can you imagine we're still going to be doing this another 12 years?
You say that like it's a bad thing.
No, I'm not. But I'm like, who's going to listen to a 62-year-old talk about Hallmark movies?
I mean, I think there's a 62-year-old listening to this episode right now who's offended at the idea that a 62-year-old's opinion isn't valuable and entertaining.
That is fair. I know. I just had like a spin out the other day. I'm like, I'm getting too old. I need to join a pickleball group.
I don't know, but I'm not done yet.
I'm not done yet either. Okay. What's next? No, I'm not looking to quit right now. Have I said too much? Can I go forward with our next email?
Sure.
Mary Louise writes, the only part of the movie, A Newport Christmas, that was shot in Newport were the dock scenes. They could have fooled me. I thought they filmed that on a Windows 95 computer.
Not the water
ocean.
scenes,
Yeah.
the like running along the dock when she first arrives, that area of the dock.
Gotcha. The rest of the movie was shot in Western New York, including Buffalo, Akron, and Lewiston.
Well, we did get some feedback on social media too about that as well, because we talked about how it was filmed on location. Why couldn't it look more like water? Well, that's because it wasn't.
Got it.
Mary says, regarding the three wisest men, just a quick bright spot in an otherwise not so hot movie.
Hot take. Send your emails to Mary.
The mom's brilliant defense of her son at the dinner table. Well written, well timed, and well said. Mary did send this before our review of that movie came out.
Got it. Ooh, King's Hawaiian. Sorry, every time. I'm never going to forget that.
Newbrin, little,
Yep.
yellow. Mary goes on to say, I have been a fan of Margaret Collin, Barb Ma. I don't know what that means. Oh, I think it's Taylor.
Yeah.
Got it. Since As the World Turns, where she played Margot and ended up marrying her real-life co-star Justin Deas. She was also great in Independence Day. Mary goes on to say, I also loved Kim's line about everyone loving a trilogy at the end in the hospital waiting room and Paul's muffled reaction. He kind of goes. From Jamie, in regards to a variety of topics, Jamie starts by saying, one of you admitted to not seeing Real Genius, and to that I say, what? You need to stop what you're doing and watch it.
Megan.
You've seen Real Genius?
Like 80 in the 80s, yeah.
It's a movie?
Yes. You don't remember talking about this?
No.
It has Val Kilmer in it.
Like a goldfish.
R.I.P.
Oh, look a castle. Oh, look a castle. That's me. Lindy Booth. She does tend to play the same character and is a bit grating. Yikes. Have you seen the 2014 series The Librarians, where she plays a lead named Cassandra? No, but we talk about this. The Librarians.
It's not ringing a bell.
I thought we talked about it. Maybe. Oh, there's a new spinoff, The Librarians, the next chapter. I do think we talked about this series perhaps when we did Holidays. And I was like, I could get into a show about librarians.
You could.
Jamie says, Robert Buckley, not Jr. I legit think that in real life, he is essentially Ted Cooper, so likable and real. It was a great movie. I would rewatch it even during non-holiday times. He has been a co-host on Drama Queens, a One Tree Hill rewatch podcast for seasons 7 to 9, the seasons he was a part of, and he is 100% the best part of the podcast. If you have some spare time, LOL. Thank you, Jamie, for seeing us.
Yes.
For the LOL. Listen to a few episodes. I did see that they did like a live final episode. I've never seen One Tree Hill.
I have watched One Tree Hill. I did listen to that podcast in the early days when they first launched, but I haven't listened to it.
Does One Tree Hill hold up on rewatch? Bummer. So it's not.
I mean, it does. It's highly sexualized for teenage girls.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it through that lens when I initially watched it, but now as a 50-year-old woman, I'm like, yikes.
You know, I'm glad we've come around to the place we are. My husband and a neighbor were talking about Back to the Future the other day, and my neighbor was like, you know, I was rewatching that, and Biff is basically assaulting her in the back of that car. I was like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Back to Jamie, who says, on Mistletoe Murders, I am super glad I watched season 1 based on your recommendation.
Hey.
Thank you. Now, my only complaint is I must wait a week for the new episodes to drop. This was, of course, sent before all episodes had dropped. Too bad it's such a limited seasonal release. I did post, may I share? I posted, I just saw the suggestion that we get a summer season of Mistletoe Murders for Christmas in July, and honestly, don't hate it. 6 episodes in the summer, 6 during Countdown to Christmas. What say you at Ken Cooperis? And Ken himself responded, Emily runs a year-round Christmas store. There are story possibilities for all 4 seasons, and I would absolutely love to tell them.
OMG. Yes, I could get down with 6 episodes in the summertime.
Yeah.
Hallmark, are you listening?
Wouldn't that be great?
Yes.
Christmas in July, and then we still get the 6. We still get the 6 at Christmas time. I agree. We want it, it's your prime time. I get it. But this would do well. Jamie finishes by saying, I have a question. How do we think Sue feels about Violet clearly not loving working at the diner? Could she have asked Emily one more time for her old job back while working at the diner? Made me laugh. That's funny.
I think Sue's reaction to it all is just Sue.
I love it. She's like, thanks for stealing my employee.
Yeah.
Great. It's great. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Finally, from Adam on Blue Sky, he says, if you haven't already recorded your The More the Merrier episode, here's a Did You See That? Pause. First of all, I love it when listeners are like, I got my own Did You See That?
Yeah, me too.
Adam, we had already recorded it, and so I told him, I'm going to include this in our mailbag. Adam says, early on, the hospital staff mentioned a neighboring town, North Haverbrook, which is from The Simpsons' Marge versus the Monorail. Adam goes on to say, having finished the movie, there's another Simpsons reference later as they ask about borrowing an ambulance from Shelbyville, which is the rival town of The Simpsons' Springfield. Great. Hey, this was a really fun episode.
It was.
I love a listener mailbag episode. We love hearing from you. Thank you for your emails and for your messages on all of the social media platforms. Thank you for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark, a Bramble Jam podcast. Keep the messages coming. We are girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com. We'll be back next time with more Hallmark reviews. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.